Now we have to work with the section, we have to work with the elevation. Now we have the plan, we have the layout, the floor plan, but what about the heights? We don't know any information here in the plan, so we need to insert or to study a section or an elevation to see the heights and where this lower terrace is, and then the upper terrace, and then the roof, and then we need to see the height of the structural columns. Where can we find that? Well, I have this information. I have this. This is the section, and this is a west elevation. I'm going to use the west elevation because here we have a lower terrace, and I have the upper terrace, and I have the roof here, and this is the height of the steel structure. Here I have levels, but if we zoom in, it's not clear. So here, apparently this is 2 feet and 4 inches. It's not clear, and here we don't. So instead of looking at the dimensions, I'm going to insert this west elevation, and since I have 2 grid lines, I have a grid line here and another grid line there in our original, so that would be grid line A and that would be grid line B. I'm going to scale the drawing to make sure that the distance between this column and this column is from grid A to grid B, and I'm going to use this as a reference. So I don't trust these numbers because they are blurry, so we can't read them. So I'm going to insert this, I'm going to scale it, and finally, I'm going to start defining the levels here. If we are working with the west elevation, so the first thing we have to do is to activate west elevation. And what happens? I don't see anything. Why? Because remember that the elevation marks are here, and well, this is not the right position, so I'm going to place the elevation marks here and there. Even the crop region is too big, so I'm going to adjust everything like this. So now I have elevation marks and I have the drawing or the house here. But now I have to click here, and you see that this is we start looking from this point, from this continuous line up to this dashed line. So I have to extend this dashed line here, and then I will see everything. What about this one? Where is the dashed line? Well, I did this before. It's probably too far away. Then I have to select this, to drag this here, and finally here, and drag this there. So now if I open the west elevation, there you go. If I open the west elevation, I see the grid lines A, B, and C. This is the west elevation. So what do I see? A, B, and C. I don't see these grid lines because those grid lines are parallel to the west elevation. I don't see them, but I see those grid lines A, B, and C. This is what I need actually to start working with this. I don't see levels, and for example, if I open the east elevation, I see levels here. So by default, I have level 0 and level 13. What happens if I open the 3D view? If I open the 3D view, I see these 2 levels, but they are not connected. I have here the elevation marks, the drawing. I have levels here. The west elevation, I don't see levels. On the east elevation, I see levels and I see the grid lines. So what can I do? I'm going to show you something that's very useful. If we are on level 0, we're going to go to View. And here we have the scope box. The scope box It's something useful because everything that it's related to the scope box is aligned with this. Okay, I'm going to do it and then I will explain it. If you click scope box, you have to do something slightly bigger than the picture, something like this. Okay, and then on the elevations or in the 3D view, yep, this is where the scope box is. You see that now the scope box is related to the drawing, but levels are not related to the scope box. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to select those levels. And here in the properties windows, select the scope box one. And it's associated. Okay, so as you can see, only one level is within the scope box or is related to the scope box. Why? Because probably the other level is, yep. So we have to move this scope box here, and we have to make sure that this level or the bottom of the scope box is below that level. And then I can select scope box again, and then I can see this. Okay, that's much better because my house is going to be here and all the levels are connected to that scope box. And the same thing can happen in the rest of the elevations. But now in the east and west elevations, I don't see the levels. Why? Because this elevation mark is not within the section box. So now we have to move the elevation marks again and make sure that these elevation marks are within the scope box. And now here I see the grid lines and levels in west, east, and if I open north and south elevations, everything is well connected. Okay, so it's good taking some time before modeling things and working with grid lines, levels, scope boxes. It will help you with any model, not just this one. So make sure that before doing anything with Revit, you have the pictures at the same scale, you have the grid lines at the right distance, and you had all levels related to a scope box that is related at the same time to the building that we are going to model. Okay, so if we do this, we will avoid a lot of problems because it's frustrating sometimes that you are working, then you open the west elevation, you don't see anything. So make sure that from the beginning, all the things are visible and are in the right place. So on the west elevation, I have to insert the picture. So remember that we have to go to insert, image. Now I have to insert section, open, and yep, this is too big. Okay, so the picture is too big. I'm going to use the scale option, numerical, and I'm going to reduce it by 0.5. And it's still too big. Okay. So now the first column, I have to adjust the first column to this grid line. And now the second column has to be a grid B. I'm going to use an auxiliary line here. Oh, that's auxiliary line. Yeah, when we are um, drawing something on an elevation, this is a west elevation. If I want to draw a line, I have to pick, you see here, the placement plane, and we can pick. Okay, so this is what we saw at the beginning. By default, we have the none is selected. But if I want to select a plane that it's parallel to the screen, if I'm looking at letters, then I have to select a number. If I select grid number 1, then I can draw a line here in the middle. Okay, and now I have to scale this picture. This is on grid A, and this line has to be on grid B. So select the picture, scale. Now it's not numerical, it's graphical. And now we have to do the same. The first point is this one, grid A. The second point is the auxiliary line that I have created, and I have to drag this up to grid line B. There you go. Okay, so now the house is from grid A to grid B, and now I can start placing the levels. So apparently this lower terrace, it's at level 0. So I'm going to move this to level 0. Okay, so that lower terrace is at level 0. And then I can copy this level. This is on level 0. I'm going to copy this level up to the upper terrace. And this is level 2. Okay, this is 2, and apparently it's 4 inches. I can always change the level. I can type 4 inches here. Yeah, kind of. And now this ceiling, is it 13 feet and 6 inches? Probably. So this can be 13 feet and 6 inches. There you go. Do I need anything else? Yeah, I need to find out the thickness of this slab. So we have a slab here and we have another slab there. So what is that thickness? Hmm, let's find out if I have this. I can copy this one. This is 1, -1 and 6. Is it -1 and 5? I think so. And now if or -1 and 4. Okay, so 1, 4 works well. And now level 2, I'm going to copy and drag it 1 foot. Sorry. Copy 1 foot and 4 inches. Okay, I'm going to copy, and then I will change 1 foot and 4 inches. Usually all the slabs have the same thickness. So if we decide that this is 1 foot and 4 inches, the other one will be 1 foot and 4 inches too. And this one, well, here roofs are always more complicated because We have the slab, and then we have something for the waterproofing and all that stuff. So I'm going to move this down here and then see what happens. Well, as you can see, this is a mess because I can't see anything. What I'm going to do is to change the scale. You see that here in this lower menu, I have different scales. So select a scale that is lower. Okay, so if we reduce the scale, this is 1/4, 3/8, or 1/2. This is clear. Okay, so I have level 3, this is -1, level 0, 0, level 5. And I usually name the levels with the same name as the elevation. So it doesn't make any sense. Level 0, it's at 0. And level 5, it's at 1. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to name this level 1. It's the same level. So let's start this. So level 1, it's level 13, 6. Then this level 6 is level 11, 9, and so on and so forth. So level 2, it's going to be level 2 and 4 inches. Level 5, it's going to be 1. Level 0, and then level 3 is level -1 and 4 inches. Okay, so I think now we are ready to start modeling the house. We have level 0 with the plan. We have the west elevation with all the levels, and on the 3D view, all the levels are connected with this scope box.